Good morning, everyone. Today is the release for Secrets of the North. It is 5 a.m., a little more moderate start time for me, which means the quest has been out for 2 or 3 hours. We're gonna go do the quest and take on the boss and see if we can get lucky. Okay, so you start the quest in East Ardoin, and without spoiling too much, it is a bit of a combination of like a murder mystery quest with a couple boss fights and a extended puzzle section. It's a master tier quest, although I didn't find it particularly hard. Now this quest is master tier, which means it's kind of on par with something like Monkey Madness or Beneath Cursed Sands. I would say in difficulty it's pretty similar to Beneath Cursed Sands. Holy Christ, what am I doing here? Oh, they go in the smoke and take damage, okay. Now similar to a quest like Dragon Slayer, the final boss fight is actually the solo only encounter that you're able to repeatedly fight after. Albeit the stats of the monster, its hit points, and its damage are quite a bit higher. Now although the method for killing this boss is still being figured out, I did 20 or so kills to kind of get the hang of things, and I'll show you my progress of course. Okay, so this is the final boss variant of the quest, which is quite a bit weaker. We're using the blowpipe, which I wouldn't probably recommend after finishing the quest, but you know, it did the job fine. And we took down the strange creature with not too many issues. So there we go, Secrets of the North is done. For completing it, we got 60,000 agility experience, 50k thieving, and 40k hunter. A really solid amount of XP, clearly following their new methodology for giving, you know, higher tier quests more experience. So for completing Secrets of the North, you unlock the Phantom Muspah boss fight. This boss, in my opinion, is akin kind of to Zulrah or Vorkath. It is very consistent money. And on top of that, there are two main unique items as well. It drops the Venator shards, which are used to create a Venator bow, and the Ancient Icon, which is used to upgrade your Ancient Staff. On top of that, similar to Zulrah, every single kill they are always going to drop Ancient Essence, which is used both to charge and fire the bow, as well as upgrade your Imbued Heart. And this thing drops a lot of them, up to 2k at a time. Now the unique items are not why this boss is such good money per hour right now. It mainly comes down to its consistent resource drops. It drops up to 3 Dragon Plate skirts at a time, 3 Dragon Plate legs, 38 grimy snapdragons, 23 runite ore. There are some really high value resource items, and on top of that, the Ancient Essence is worth a lot right now, about 300 GP each, and you always get a minimum of 400. Now the value of Ancient Essence is certainly going to drop a lot, but right now the minimum kill value just from Ancient Essence alone is 120k, and gets up to 600k if you're lucky. Okay, so how does this boss work? Well, it has two main attack phases. It attacks with melee and it attacks with ranged. During its range phase, it is extremely weak to ranged, or at least extremely weak to the twisted bow. And during its melee phase, you can either continue using your twisted bow if you have one, or bring a mage switch and attack it with a trident or a sanguinesti or something like that. And because it was 5 a.m, I decided let's just camp the twisted bow. And it actually works pretty well, although the kill speeds are probably not as quick as you could get using a different setup. It seems like the most popular strategy right now is actually to bring a Zerite crossbow, but we'll get to that in a minute. So from inventory, I'm bringing a full inventory of brews and restores with a bunch of ranging potions and runes to cast my thralls. So this is my first kill attempt. The idea is if he's in his melee phase, you're going to pray melee and attempt to kite him around the room. Now similar to a boss like Saradomin, if you get enough distance in between you and the boss, you can pretty effectively kite it. Now I'm not doing a very good job here because this is my first kill, but in hindsight you want to drag them more into the corner so you get more time to run back and forth. So now it's in its range phase, so we're going to protect from range and attack with ranged as well. Now periodically, independent of whatever phase it's in, it can sometimes shoot out a magic attack, which you're definitely going to want to pray against. Otherwise you'll take a significant amount of damage and you'll get corrupted, which means your prayer will drain over time. Now beyond that, the boss will also summon some pillars throughout the room, which you don't want to run into. So now you can see he's using this other special attack where he'll kind of blink around the room and summon these orbs similar to the final phase of Akka in TOA. One thing to keep in mind here is you can continue to DPS the boss even though he's teleporting around the room. You'll just kind of instantly lock on, but you do want to dodge the orbs because they do a fair bit of damage as well. Okay, now here's a great example of what happens when you don't pray against its magic attack. Now once you get the boss to around 10% hit points, like very low, it will jump into the middle of the room and get ready to do a giant explosion attack. The way you avoid this is by running behind some of the pillars that are on the ground. If you don't do this, you can take a significant amount of damage. So you definitely always want to have some of these stalagmites in the way. Stalagmites? So you definitely want to always have some of these stalagmites in the way, or you'll pretty much get KO'd. Now the final part of the boss fight is really interesting. It uses a new mechanic that I've never seen before. It summons itself a shield that is only damaged by certain things. It's a prayer shield, which means the only way you can damage it yourself is by making sure you have smite on when you attack it. Alternative sources of damage are thralls, which can hit through it, and the ZCB spec, or the Zerite crossbow spec, is really good and helps speed up this phase a lot. This is probably the part of the boss fight that takes the most getting used to, because you need to be praying smite when you're attacking, but you also need to be protecting from ranged when the boss is attacking. So if you're not in the right attack cycles, you can just end up constantly doing no damage or constantly taking a ton of damage. So one thing that I'd recommend, if you're not doing damage, stop yourself from attacking, heal up, make sure you're praying correctly, and then you want to make sure you're attacking them kind of off tick, so you have time to flick between the two overhead prayers. But after a couple tries, we did manage to get our first kill, which doesn't look super impressive, but that's 920 Ancient Essence, which means that's like nearly 300k in Ancient Essence, 100k in Soul Runes. That's a 400k drop right there, which is kind of insane. Charged ice, what even is that? I don't think that's a tradable item. I think that might be like a transmog. I mean, hey, what? Where's my pet? Oh my god, that's so much Ancient Essence. 2,000 in a single drop? That's literally 600k in Ancient Essence alone. What the hell? There's another like 300k drop, we'll take it. Oh my god, that's so many grimy snapdragons, 38 of them. That's again like a 600k drop. Okay, so this trip we got 6,000 Ancient Essence. I'm just gonna dump these in here instantly. 1.7 mil just from Essence alone. The whole trip, 2.3 mil, I think that was 4 kills or something. Crazy. And that I think is the final kill of my trip. Another 2 mil trip just from resource items. Now, I didn't happen to get lucky on any of the unique items, but many people did. Now, obviously it's a little too early to guess on what the drop rates are, but 2 people I know got the Venator Shard within 30 kills. The Venator Shard has dropped a lot. It's only like a 10 mil drop right now, but you do need a few of them to combine into the bow. Also, the charged dice and the ancient icons seem to be relatively common, but again, who really knows? So I'm having a lot of fun killing the boss, and I suspect, although the profitability of this is going to drop a lot, once Ancient Essence inevitably goes down to like 10 GP, I mean, it just drops so frequently, there are enough resource items on this drop table that this will still be a very profitable boss. Anyway guys, that's it for my first day look at Secrets of the North. Hope you guys found it useful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Now quickly before I go here, I just want to thank all of my members over on YouTube. Thank you so much to Alejandra, Prophet of the Boosh, Mitch Reinders, The Hybrid, and Kush Patel for all being subscribed at the Dragon tier. Also a giant thank you to YoYoSup89 and NDM0001 for subscribing at the Runite tier. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.